I'm an artist. If you're watching this, there's probably a good chance that you're an artist as well. And the number one thing that I encounter with myself and that I see with my friends who are also artists is the thing that holds them back is their own fear. And what that means is it's more a fear of what it means to actually put out things as an artist who's trying to be successful versus as an already established brand who doesn't have to care about what people think of them. And it is your own fear that's holding you back as an artist, trying to live as an artist. Because it's the fear of the social repercussions of putting things out. You know, what are my friends and family gonna think? It's the fear of, like, jobs. Like, oh, I'm gonna lose my job if I'm an artist, or they can't find out about my art, which is way more common than you'd think as a reason people express. But it's all just fear. It's fear of a world that doesn't exist. It's fear of this, like, hostile, attacking world that people think just will happen if they start actually releasing or putting things out at a regular pace. You know, they think that, oh, it's not refined. There's a fear of, like, of course, the perfectionist element of, oh, this thing isn't refined, it's not ready yet, it's not done. But then there's the fear of, like, oh, well, if I start doing XYZ, like, the people around me are going to see me as spammy, or they're going to see me as just, like, annoying. And I've encountered that, and the only, like, answer to that is this: they can go F themselves. Because that is not, these are just things that are existing in your mind that are holding you back. It's holding you back from being able to actually get in, jump in at this pace that's necessitated to actually do well. And it's just the fear that everything's a closed door. And it actually isn't a closed door. It's all open doors. Like, it's as simple as contacting the right person or going to an event and meeting the right person. But those are also things that people are afraid of doing. It's a fearful kind of like, oh, there's excuses involved on why they shouldn't be doing something. But what I'm saying is that everything's, the doors you think are closed, you think there's an industry that closes those doors, you think, oh, they're closed with lock and key, I gotta go my own way. They aren't closed. They're open. And if you just see yourself as water that flows through all these openings, rather than someone who has to knock on the doors and wait at the formal request of a bouncer who lets you into the club. Like, that's not what it actually is. It's, the opportunities are there. They're way easier to grasp than you think they are, which is why it's a mental thing, which is why it's overcoming your own self-fear of all these different reasons to actually be able to do what's best for yourself and actually succeed in the career. And you have to see yourself, you have to see the world as this flood of open doors rather than these closed locations that you don't have access to yet, that you haven't got the right power level. It's not actually like that. It's way easier to transgress through these tunnels and these systems than you think. It's easier to get, if you have your goal in mind, to get it, to actually achieve it, if you're just not afraid of doing things that will make yourself look stupid, make yourself look cringe. And that's the big thing, honestly, nowadays, is appearing cringe, which goes away as you get older, by the way. That fear starts to fade because you realize, I need to start acting now. Even if it's cringe or not, I need to do something. Because that's a very kind of younger generation thing, and I'm not immune to that. You have to overcome those fears, because that amongst other things that you have to figure out as an artist, that's a big one. It's a big one to overcome these self-fears and to say, you know what? I don't care if what I do is cringe. I don't care if what I do is people will look down on me, all my close associates, because you're not making stuff for them. If you're trying to be an artist, they're not your audience. They might be the people that support you at the start, but you're trying to get a new audience, right? You're trying to make new people. And even if they think that they don't like what you're doing, it doesn't matter. As long as you are achieving this new kind of grounds with people, that's what actually matters. It doesn't matter what your friends or close associates think. And to let that inform your decisions, all that's going to do is hold you back. It's just going to hold you down because you're trying to blow open the ceiling, and that is your ceiling. And you're fearful of the repercussions for breaking through that room, for like starting to put cracks in the ceiling. And they're like, oh no, the roof's going to cave on us and stuff. And it's like, that's not what you're here to do. You have to just keep going forward with that, even if you think it makes you look cringe. Because you know what? If you think it makes you cringe, that's actually a good sign. Because in whatever you're doing, it shows that you understand that you were capable of doing something that's embarrassing. And it shows that even if whatever you're doing, if you think the thing itself is cringe, or you think the way you're going about it is cringe, that sense of this is cringe means that it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing, and if it's embarrassing, here's the little secret: it's embarrassing to you. It's gonna do good because it's personal, because you're having a personal emotion attached to the thing that you're doing. And that's a whole other topic I'd love to get into, on why that personal attachment is the way to succeed as an artist, why it has to be personal, and it has to be cringe in some spaces, because cringe equals personal. But in terms of blowing over fear, it's also overcoming that. It's overcoming that sense of what I'm doing is cringe, or what I'm doing is defeating to my self-image, because you don't have a self-image. If you're watching this video, you're just like me. Like, you're not Too Hollis, you're not MJ, you're starting out. There's no self-image. Like, you could just delete everything and start over if you really wanted to. Virgil Abloh has a really good quote about that, about the number one thing that he misses when he was a younger brand is that he could just restart. He could just redo something if he wanted to, because there's no self-image. What is your self-image? 1,000 followers on Instagram? That's literally like 0.01 pennies of a self-image, of like a branded image. So these are all fearful things that are holding you back as well. Is this sense of, I have to stick to my branding. I have to stick to my image I've painted for myself. I have to stick to this box I've put myself in. Why? Nobody cares. Literally nobody cares. Like, on the truest term as well, if you're an artist starting out, nobody gives a flying F about your art yet. You know, nobody cares. So you can restart. You can change your approach as many times as you need to, because nobody cares. And the Virgil Abloh quote, he essentially says that, you know, once he made it to an established brand, now the things he does actually matter. You know, now it's like there's articles that are going to get written about it, and there's this and that, and like, he can't just do these willy-nilly ideas like he could when he was unknown, when he was more unknown. And that's the space that you're in. Whether you like it or not, you're unknown. Like, if you just stopped doing whatever you're doing, one or two people would say, oh, what's going on? But like, most people would just forget. Which is why you just can't have anything that holds that back. You can't have your own doubts or your own whatever, your insecurities. You can't let those hold you back from the actual what needs to be done, because there's a lot of work that needs to be done. And if you're having mental blocks on this path that needs 100 steps, if you can't even get to the first step because of a mental blockade, it's hopeless. Oh. So restart as many times as you need to. Keep trying different things because it literally doesn't matter. You just have to get through your mind that this lower the dredges, the underworks, nothing matters here yet, and you can just change the things you're doing a billion times, and literally nobody cares. Even if your college friends care, it doesn't matter. They're not the primary trajectory here. So it's just something that needs to be done away with. You have to just break it down, and you have to not be afraid to change your thing, your whatever that is, because you have to find it. You have to find the thing that encapsulates your image. And you're not going to find it by moving at a snail's pace, and you're not going to find it by being afraid and thinking that you know what it is as well. You have to try, and you have to keep trying, and just keep moving in one unilateral direction and not be hindered on what the past was, what your previous things were. It has to be a constant train that you aren't afraid of changing the direction with, because you're not the top dog yet. You know, you're far, far, far from it. Neither am I. You know, we're all kind of in this together. So, but it is something important to understand if you really, really are serious about this, is that fear element that needs to be just disintegrated. Yeah.